Hello and welcome back to the Sales Show. Today, I want to talk about how we actually master your social media for lead generation in 2025. If I had a dollar for every business owner who told me, I post on social media all the time, but I'm not getting any clients, I would be recording this podcast from my private yacht. But seriously, why are people still spending hours on social media, posting every day, hiring experts, running ads, but not actually seeing any sales? And the truth is, it's not because social media is broken. It's probably because you don't have a good, hard strategy around it. And I need you to understand that the more content you create doesn't always equal more sales. Having pretty posts and all of that is nice, but let's be real, it's probably not going to pay the bills. Okay. So we want to make sure that social media is working for you and not the other way around. And if it's not bringing in actual leads or conversions, I want to know why. If it's not bringing in paying clients, you're probably missing a sales driven strategy for your social media. So this is why I get my clients to go through the serve framework. It is the exact method that we use inside Her Sales Club to make sure that every single post that we do moves people towards a sale, not just engagement, not just likes, but actual money in the bank. There needs to be a purpose behind everything that you do. And so today, I want to dive into the biggest mistakes that business owners are making around their social media and that are absolutely killing conversions. I also want to take you briefly through the serve framework and how we can actually turn your content into a lead generating machine. How do we actually get those leads churning through into your business? And then we want to look at how to create content that gets people to take action. Action. And an action is not just liking your post. Okay. Because if you're going to the effort of doing your social media, you deserve to get paid for it. Okay. So let's look at maybe why social media isn't bringing in the sales in the first place. A lot of people are showing up on social media, but they're not actually selling. What? You actually have to sell? Yeah, you do. And selling isn't about hustling. It's not about pushing. It's not about convincing people. It's not about feeling uncomfortable and gross. It's about showing people how you serve them. That's why it's a serve framework that we use. I also see people that are giving value, but they're not actually positioning themselves as the expert. People come to you for a reason. They're looking for that solution. It may as well be you that they're looking for. I see people that are engaging, but they're not actually building real relationships, not surface based. Oh, that sounds great. Oh, looks good. Oh, this is nice. Like real relationships that lead to sales. Okay. And I see people that are posting, but they're not staying visible in the right way. So we want to make sure that what you're doing is actually going to work. And then the last thing that I see is people talk about what they do, but they're not really showing the benefit as to why someone would work with you. Okay. They talk about all about the features, but what actually ends up converting is the benefits and the outcomes that people see. And as I said, that's where the serve framework comes in. It's designed to make sure that every single piece of content you create is working towards a conversion because social media isn't just about showing up, right? If it was, people would be making money all over the place. Every single business owner would be like, great, I just need to do posts and everything will work. That's not true. Social media isn't just about showing up, it's about actually selling. So let's break it down. Let's actually look at the serve framework. If your social media isn't bringing in leads, it's probably because your content isn't doing its job. So the serve framework fixes that. So the S stands for sell, the E stands for expertise, your R is for relationships, your V is for visibility, and your E is to show proof that what you do actually works. So let me take you through these in a little bit more detail. If you want more sales, you actually have to sell, okay? There's no other way around it. You can avoid sales if you want to, that's totally up to you. However, if you're wanting to grow your business, if you're wanting to actually help more people, you need to sell. And so I see selling as serving. How can I help more people? How can I help people move forward? How can I help people understand how they can sell what it is what it is that they do in a really high converting, high connected, fun way. Okay. Because I see too many business owners that are scared to talk about their offers. They're scared to ask for the sale. They're showing up, they're giving really good value, they're posting pretty content that looks amazing, but they're not actually telling people what they are selling, who is it for, how people can buy it, what are the benefits of working with you, what are the outcomes that they will get, why you're different from anyone else. So we really want to make sure that part of your content that you're creating is that S and it's actually selling. So, for example, saying things like doors are open for my program is not necessarily selling. Okay. We want to talk about the program's outcomes and how people can work with you. What is that call to action that you're looking for? Okay. So I want you to go back and look at your last 10 posts. How many are you actually selling in? And if it's not at least 30%, fix it. Okay. Actually go and fix it because we want to make sure that we're selling across our social media. Okay. The E in serve stands for expertise. So show that you know your stuff, show why you are the expert in what it is that you do. People don't buy from you just because you're nice. Okay. They want to know that you can help them move forward. They buy from you because you are the best at what you do. Okay. So we want to make sure that you are posting things that proves you know your industry inside and out. Okay. So they may be things like tips and insights. It may be personal experience. It may be busting some myths about, what people think goes on in your industry, but it may not necessarily be true. You want to show that you are the expert in what it is that you do. Okay. So that's the E. Then we look at relationships. So in the relationship side of posting, we want to make sure we are building connection and trust. Okay. Sales is built on trust. People don't buy from you unless they trust you and can connect with you. Okay. So we want to look at personal stories. We want to look at a behind the scenes, a day in the life as a business owner or a mom, or behind the scenes of you working with clients and what that would look like. We want to understand who you are, like what are your values and beliefs. And when I talk to business owners about this sort of stuff, and I know that I've come across this myself in my own business, I sometimes struggle to share a lot of my personal life in my social media because I have small kids. And I've spoken to multiple marketing people about this that I don't necessarily want to have my kids sprawled all over social media. Okay. I don't believe they're old enough to make that decision. And I don't believe it's a safe way to do things either. Each to their own. I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm just letting you know that this is where I'm at. So when I do my personal stories, I look at why I started my business in the first place. I talk about what's been happening with kids and life in the back end and all that sort of stuff. And I talk about my values and my beliefs and how passionate I am about what I do. So it's not necessarily about sharing all the things. It's about what do you need to do to build that connection, that trust for people to be able to get to know you a little bit more. So I would love if you could go back through your social media and see if people know who you are. Maybe you can share a personal story this week that would help connect with your audience and to show them a little bit more about you, why you do what you do, why you started your business. One of the best questions I love asking business owners is, why did you start your business in the first place? Because if we don't know what that why is, the hours are long, it's freaking hard. We're pushing rocks uphill, boulders up hills. And so, really connecting with that why and share your why. People love that. Okay. And then we want to look at the V. V is for visibility. So, we want to stay top of mind. If people can't see you, they can't buy from you. They love to see faces. So use videos, reels, stories, do lives, be active in your conversations, in comments and DMs, and show up on multiple platforms. Like you will be surprised as to who is actually out there watching you when you put out your content I always think, even like when I record my podcast, are people actually hearing this? Or am I just looking at a dot and talking to no one? Right. But then I hear people go, oh my God, I loved your podcast this week, or I really got this out of it, or I've implemented this, or how can I tell her that? And we actually have conversations about it. So I know I'm being visible in that space and people is hearing it, they're seeing me, and they're understanding what it is that they do. Okay. And then the final E is evidence. So prove what you do works. People sometimes need to really see that proof before they buy from you, right? I think these days we're so much more hesitant about spending money. It's not that we're not spending money, we just need to feel a little bit safer. So we need to see the evidence. People need to see what it is that you do and see how it actually works. So this can be across things like client testimonials, before and after case studies, screenshots of messages that people have sent you about some awesome wins or transformations that they've had. But if you really show that evidence, then people will know that you are amazing at what it is that you do. Sometimes this can be hard, right? Sometimes we have to blow our own horn because no one else is going to do it for you. But we want to show people that evidence. So if you use that serve framework and know that you are selling in your social media, you're showing your expertise, you're building those relationships, you're getting that visibility out there, and you're showing the evidence of what it is that you do works, I guarantee that your social media will be so much more high converting. What you want to do is then put a strategy, a sales strategy behind the serve framework. So you're clear on what you're selling, how you're selling it, when you're selling it, what are the features, benefits, outcomes, and the emotions and all of that that come into it. Okay. This is how we get our social media to make us money. This is how we get our social media to be high converting. Okay. So that is all from me for this week. If your social media is not converting, it's because you're missing one of these key areas. So go back and have a look at your social media. Go back and get one of your friends to have a look at your social media and be like, hey, I'm just wanted to check in. Can you have a quick look over my Instagram and tell me what you think that I'm selling this week or this month or what I'm focusing on, or who are the people that I help, or what you think my expertise are? Because if they can't tell you, I guarantee you your audience won't know either. Okay. And if your audience don't know what you do, it's really freaking hard to sell stuff, guys. Okay. So the SERV framework makes content really simple, it's strategic, and it's sales focused. Okay. So it's not just about creating pretty graphics, it's not about spending hours and hours and hours on social media. It's about having high impact, high converting content. Okay. You need to be selling, you need to be showing your expertise, build the relationships, keep your visibility high, and then show the results that you're getting. So here is my challenge to you, right? I know if you're listening to this, you are a business owner that is looking to grow your business, or you may be a business owner that is struggling with your social media. Okay. So here's my challenge to you. I want you to go back and look at your last 10 posts, right? Just 10 posts. Are you hitting all 5 categories of the SERV framework? Right? Just go back and have a little look. My guess, and I may be wrong. I've been wrong in the past, I may be wrong, but my guess would be that you're not. And what I see people miss the most is that selling component. They're either pushing it out and they're like, sell, 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 and they're missing all the other components, or they're kind of fluffing their way around the selling side of it because they don't want to come across pushy. Okay. So this serve framework can go across all areas of your social media. So static posts, reels, lives, carousels, all of it, right? The framework is still the same. It's the format that would change for you. Okay. Then I want you to plan your next week's content based around this framework. Okay. So this framework mapped out over the next week, 2 weeks, even month, if you're feeling driven and want to get it done. But make sure that you're hitting each one of those letters and make sure that at least 30% of your posts are directly selling. Even if you are not in launch, even if you are not pushing something at the moment, you still need to be selling stuff on an ongoing basis to stabilize your cash flow. Okay. It's not about winging business anymore. This is 2025. It's time to get our stuff sorted. Okay. So make sure that at least 30% of your posts are actually selling what it is that you do. You've got calls to action in there. You are showing people how to work with you. You're looking at the outcomes and all of that. Okay. It's what we go through so much in her sales club, because I will say to our members, I've looked at your social media and it's not selling. You're not serving. Go back to the framework. They go, oh, yeah, okay. I've got to go back and check all that out. It's now even gotten to the point where we have developed some templates for her sales club members to use across their social media so that they can tailor them, but the key elements are in there. Okay. So if you want to have a look at this strategy in a whole heap more deeper detail, come and check out her sales club. All you need to do is go to mareekirkpatrick.com/club and all the details will be there. And we don't just go through social media, obviously, in there. We go across your whole sales strategy and your planning and all that sort of stuff as well. But I want you to make sure that you're actually using your social media as the tool that it's meant to be. Okay. It's not just another thing that you have to do. It's something that you want to use as a tool to sell and to convert. Okay. That is all from me for this episode. Now go and serve your audience so that content actually brings in you cash. Have an amazing week and I'll see you soon.